Ciso. Oh, it's fabulous! A strike to get you up off your feet.
Hello and welcome to Seagulls Social. This is the big preview. It's Brighton versus Palace. And of course, I'm joined by Ben. And also, we have got a special guest today. We couldn't get Talk CPFC, aka Ollie Thomas, on the show. So we had to settle for second best. And that is
third best, really, because you got HLTCO as well.
Oh, yeah, HLTCO, yeah. That's true.
I'm fourth, fifth, sixth best. I only 7 Palace fans know I exist, and I think 6 of them are ashamed of me. So yeah.
Well, you're making waves on TikTok now, Chris. You're a bit of a mini Palace celebrity on TikTok.
Yeah, very mini celebrity, but yeah, follow me on TikTok if you also hate kind of that you love Palace. But yeah,
I don't think anyone listening right now is going to like Palace, to be truthful.
On listening, is probably quite surprised to hear that Chris is posh and he supports Crystal Palace, which isn't normally something that coexists.
The first Tory Palace supporter, isn't it?
Whoa. Well, actually, I'm going to correct you on 2 things there. Firstly, I'm not a Tory. Secondly, believe it or not, I know, I'm lying to fit in. But secondly, apparently, not a Tory, but apparently Nigel Farage is a Palace fan, so, it gets pretty... it gets pretty rough.
That sort of just sums up your fan base, really, doesn't it?
But
Chris, first of all, just for anyone who doesn't know, any bit of context, Ben and I both work with Chris at Sport Bible, and we're all gone our separate ways now. And me and Chris are freelancing, and Ben, of course, is still at Sport Bible. But Chris is a big Palace fan.
We haven't gone our separate ways. You guys just ditched me.
Oh yeah, we ditched you. That was more like it. But yeah, Chris, you're a big Palace fan. So first of all, let's start with you. We'll do the op review first of all. How's your season been? How are Palace getting on? They're not doing the best at the moment.
It's been,
of course, last 4 games you actually have improved. To be fair.
Yeah, I'm gonna. Firstly, before we go on, Maz, as you said, we're both freelancing. Can you please just can anyone just hire me for anything? It's not going well. It's been really, I'm a hard worker. I'm not that competent, but I try. In terms of Palace, it's been a really. Can you hear me? You got me. Yeah, okay, I've lost you for a sec. Yeah, it's been really...
just got on mute.
Oh, nice.
We just got on mute when we're not speaking.
I'm used to people leaving when I start talking. No, Palace have had a really weird season. So it's we started the season horrendously, as you may have noticed, never winning a game. I think we didn't win a game for 10.
It was so good.
It was really bad. But the odd thing about it is we were always in those games. We were never resoundingly beaten by anyone. We just kept losing kind of 50-50 games or 60-40 games. And then in the last 8, it's been kind of odd. So we're on we've had 1 loss in 8, which is good. And in that time we played City and we played Newcastle and we played Spurs and we played Villa twice. But also in that time we've only won 3 games. So, and only 2 of those are in the league. So it's just really odd and I don't really know how to feel. I would say that you're playing us probably at the least ideal time relative to this season because we are definitely getting better. A lot of our summer signings that looked like initial flops, they looked really bad, are now actually looking half decent. And
right back looks decent. I do rate the right back.
Yeah, Munoz. He's actually his first game. He was a January signing. His first game was that horrendous game.
The 4-1.
Yeah,
Mateta scored. Yeah,
I also forget the score, but that game was his debut, and he looked a bit shaky, but he's been brilliant ever since. And Sarr is really odd because he's really fast, doesn't really do much else. But we're kind of slowly finding some form. We've had Wharton's back this weekend. I don't know if he'll play. But I mean, whether he plays or not, it doesn't really matter because Will Hughes looks like fucking Pirlo at the moment. But yeah.
Nice. Well, listen, we've had Chris's point of view from a Palace perspective. Ben, how have you seen Palace this season? Do you feel like they're underachieving? I think that's very obvious to say. But why do you think they are underachieving? Why do you think they're not hitting maybe the sort of heights that they have previously in previous Premier League seasons?
I guess losing Elise doesn't help, but I mean, to answer the first.
It's not ideal,
question,
is it?
They're absolutely underachieving. It's insane. Like, it's been unbelievable to watch how bad they've been this season. Like you said, Chris, you're getting a little bit better, but obviously you had that purple patch last season, and then the amount of shit that Palace fans were talking in the build up to this season, saying, "Oh, we're going for Europe. This is going to be a European charge this season." So to then see the start that they had was incredible. I don't know really where it went wrong. Chris can probably tell us, but yeah, losing Elise is obviously not ideal. Mateta's kind of stopped firing in goals, really. Because you brought in Nketiah on, it seems like you're trying to then fit both of them on the pitch because he was like a marquee signing, but you can't really do that. So that was a bit of a strange signing. It's almost like Nketiah is the most Crystal Palace signing ever, so we have to sign him. He's available. We must do it.
Am I right in saying Nketiah's only scored once in 12 or something?
Mate, it's been... Nketiah scored 1 goal and it was against QPR in the Cup. To be fair to him, he got injured. He's like recovering from an injury, but he looked, actually, his all-round games looked quite good, but he's playing out of position, which just makes us signing him make even less sense. He's played, sorry, I don't know if you got that, but he basically, we have Mateta up front, and then we like to have like Eze and another attacker right behind him, and he's playing in that one of those kind of auxiliary roles, and it's just Eddie Nketiah is not that kind of player. But I think, Ben, your assessment is generally right, where like, Palace fans are probably giving it the big one, but like we had a right to. We were really good, and it was odd. Like it wasn't just we were playing out of our skin. Like we were systemically good. The system looked like it was just working, and we were beating some like really good sides like comprehensively. I think losing Elise, any side losing Elise is like that's a massive loss. But I think a Palace losing Elise, he's the best. In terms of pure natural talent, he's the best footballer I've ever seen at Palace. It's hilarious we ever had him.
Better than Zaha.
Zaha's he's a bigger like club legend, and what he did for us over a decade is obviously like ranks higher. But in terms of like pure ability, pound for pound, Elise is just amazing. Yeah, I would say better than Zaha. But
other than Elise leaving, what else has gone wrong?
I think
what's happened?
We had a pretty
just quickly, Chris, on that. I've heard lots of chat about Glasner. People are questioning Glasner. Is that something that's been? I don't know. It's just from I don't know what Palace fans have been saying like internally, but from an outside perspective, a few people have been saying about is Glasner the right person for Palace? But I don't know.
I think sacking Glasner. I mean, he doesn't look like it's going to happen. He looks like he's turned it around. But yeah, a few games ago there was chat. There was chatter because we'd had an awful start of the season that he might go. I personally think sacking Glasner would be an enormous mistake. He is by far the best manager we've had in years, and like you can see. Oh mate, Roy made me devastated. I had to go to a football match. Like I was like, oh no, like, it was so bad. I love him dearly, but like I love he's just. I don't know. It's not. You don't want to. Don't worry about him. I don't even want to think about it. But yeah, he's a brilliant manager, and you can see that like he hasn't lost the players, he hasn't lost the dressing room, and like what he's doing is slowly. You can see like what he's implemented across the season is slowly working. But the thing is, in the summer, losing Elise, also we obviously have a lot of transfer speculation around Gay, a bit around Wharton. But we also had, I don't know if you noticed, we had a lot of players at the Euros. I mean, a lot of them didn't really play, but they were there to the end. And we also had 2 players who got to the final of the Copa America as well, in Nunes and Lerma. Our pre-season was really compromised by that. So you had 8 players. That was bad maths. 6. You had 6 players, 6 first-team players, 6 key players, who just didn't come in till like a week before football. Oh yeah, the Prem started, and also I remembered we had Mateta on at the Olympics as well.
Yeah.
So I think that really causes some problems, and also our transfer business was poor and done really late. So basically, because of that, August was a write-off, September was a write-off. And it's only like genuinely and it was only by October that we actually started looking like a half decent team.
So what you're saying, Chris, you're only going up. Is that what you're saying?
It can only get better. It can only get better. Like, to be honest, I mean, this is the Brighton podcast, and I appreciate that. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I haven't watched much of Brighton, partly because I'm quite an avoidant person, and like Brighton are allegedly quite good, so I don't really want to engage.
It's good football, and then have to then sit through a Palace match, and then that'll make you even more depressed watching.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, you know, I'm not a good hater because most of the people I hate are better than me. So like, I'm not engaging in that really.
No, and on that, Chris, we will get onto Brighton. Ben, we have dropped 14 points, right, from winning positions in the Premier League this season. Only Fulham and Ipswich have been worse than us. Are you worried about this happening again against Palace? Obviously, we've got home advantage. If we beat them, that's 3 times in a row that we've beaten them at home. Three in a row for the first time, I think, since like the 70s or 80s, something crazy like that. So, yeah, are you worried about this being a recurring theme throughout the season? Or do you feel like we will comprehensively get past Palace?
I don't think we'll comprehensively get past Palace because it's usually just a write-off at Palace. It's just like form kind of goes out.
4-0 last season.
I mean, like form normally goes out the window with Palace. And yeah, I mean, I feel like Palace are going to be bang up for it because they are playing well now. So there will be a little bit more confidence. And, you know, Palace will probably look at us and think they do drop points against people. So when we're 1-0, 2-0 down, we're still in the game. We could potentially get a point. And I don't see that changing anytime soon, our bad luck and dropping points when we're from winning positions. It's so frustrating, so atrocious. I had to apologise to my nan when I was watching the Leicester game with her because I was so pissed off. I just wasn't even talking to her, like, have a hand like this when she was trying to talk to me. I was just fucking fuming.
Oh, mate, I thought
anyway, yeah, it put me it was in a really bad way. So if that happens again against Palace, it's really, really will be frustrating. But eventually we'll get over that, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, I'm not confident that we're going to be getting the 3 points against Palace, that's for sure.
Really? Okay. Well, sticking with Brighton as well, Ben. Who do you think needs to perform? Where do you think we can hurt Palace? Where are there maybe per se weak areas, or where do you feel like Brighton should be targeting Palace? And I'll ask Chris the same thing.
Well, I think João Pedro played really well in last season's one at home, so I feel like he can grab the ball by its horns. Yeah, that was unbelievable. That was 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that was so good. So I think João Pedro could be a massive, massive player for us in that game. Same with Rutter. I just know our quality attacking is incredible. It's more just our defences was a little bit shaky, even against Leicester, like Igor making that mistake. As long as we don't make mistakes, you know, Palace are usually probably quite clinical against us because they always seem to get a result against us, even when they play shit, and it's so annoying. So we just need to make sure we don't make any mistakes, which is obviously a hard thing to do. But yeah, as long as we're tight at the back, I think
Mateta's the biggest worry for me. Mateta's the biggest worry for me. I feel like, yeah, if he's at the top of his game, which we've seen last season and a few times this season as well, he is a dangerous guy up top.
And Adam Wharton had a stinker against when he played at the. I know most Palace players did that day, but
to be fair to Wharton, that was his first ever Premier League game. He was put on after half an hour, having never kicked a ball in the Prem. Like, just
yeah. And went uphill there from him.
And Chris, I'll ask you the same question. Who are you worried about from Brighton, and then who do you feel like from Palace can hurt Brighton?
It's a really good question, because the thing is at Brighton, from like an outsider's perspective, and as I said, as somebody who doesn't really engage with Brighton, you always just have some random like Ecuadorian who scores like an overhead kick from 30. I'm like, who's that? Yeah, you're just like, yeah, your team doesn't really exist in real life. It's like a football manager. So I like João Pedro is the one that all Brighton fans always bang on about for being like apparently really good. So I guess
so good.
Like instinctively when your team Balaba's apparently really good as well.
Phenomenal, yeah.
Allegedly. Again, I can't say I'm an expert, but I guess like when the team sheets out, those are the two players I'll look at and be like, "Ooh, that's not ideal." I think it's interesting the way you signposting Brighton's strengths and weaknesses, Ben. Because I'd say Palace's strengths are defence. Like our defence, our back five is a really I think pound for pound a really good back five. Lequoir's been amazing this season. That's a hell of a signing, but we're so bad at attacking. But I think, but you're right, Mateta, and actually Mateta is. The goals have dried up a bit for him compared to last season, but he still scored a respectable amount, and he's still actually his all-round game is really good. So, like, you're right to be worried by him, and he's also like he's a bit like an aura merchant. So it's like you know, like he's just got a moment in him. But
knowing he's on the pitch, something can happen.
Yeah, exactly. Like, but I don't. See, if we got a point out of this, I think I've said that for every game this season. If we get a point out of this, I'll be happy.
I mean, it's come to the Amex, especially after last season, to get a point. I think, it's more respectful. And look, we haven't been. There's been times where we've looked shaky. We've looked. We could easily be beaten in games. So you never know. Like things could just go wrong for us, obviously, at the Amex. And you guys come sneak a win. You've beaten us plenty of times in the Amex in the past. So it's not like you can't come and do it again.
No, it's definitely not cut and dry. Like, I don't think it's biased to say, like, Palace are in a false position. Like, for the amount of chances we've created this, even, like, the kind of, the nerds will tell you that even, like, the amount of chances we've created, nerds. They're kind of losers. The losers you'd have probably rather had on this podcast. They'll tell you that, like, our position isn't reflective of, the stats. But, I think it is not just because it's a rivalry, like it could go either way. And I think we're more evenly matched than the league would suggest. You're obviously favourites because you're in a better position, you've been in better form, and you're at home. But
and better players, better manager.
I don't know, mate. I don't know. I just don't think that's true.
Oh, here we go. Now we're getting into it.
True.
Well, as in, okay. So, interestingly, Maz and I in the office...
What are you better at than Brighton?
Well, I don't know anything about your manager, really, other than he did quite well at Sao Paulo and he's got a shit haircut. But
the haircut's all better now. He's got a skin fade.
Yeah, he's got a skin fade because he's 15. But
he gets a lollipop still after he has his haircut.
I genuinely think Glasner's a really, really, really good manager. I don't think it's a surprise that, they were in for everyone, but, Bayern wanted to have him, and we said no.
To be fair, I think we were linked with him as well, to be fair.
Yeah.
I think when we were looking for our manager. When we were looking for De Zerbi, not looking for Hertz.
Yeah, okay. Glasner's a Europa League winning manager.
Yeah.
He is genuinely really good. I don't think it's we're very lucky to have him. I think the only reason we have him is because we're a Premier League club in London. I think that, I'm not going to lie, you said better stadium. I'd take Selhurst Park over most stadiums because I love how shit it is. It's got more character than any stadium in the league. I mean, maybe not I like Forest Ground. I love Selhurst Park. It's so jokes. I love it. I think pound for pound in terms of players, as I said, I've literally chosen not to engage with Brighton this season, so I can't really comment on that. But I remember Maz and I had a conversation in the office last season when we did have a similar team, but Elise, and I made a statement of, I reckon if you were to make a team of Palace and Brighton, you'd have an even number of players. And Maz said, that's an outlandish comment, that's crap. And then we did it, and it was pretty much weird.
But
it was
we are so
last season,
we've got a lot of different players now.
I can't comment on this. Listen, I'm not going to comment. I'm not. Who's that Chelsea bloke who makes ridiculous?
Rory.
I'm not him. I'm not going to make a stupid.
Just quickly, Chris. You talked about being defensively solid. I just wanted to quickly hear about Joachim Andersen. Obviously, he left the club. I felt like that was a big loss at the time. But you're saying now that defensively you're actually pretty solid without him.
Yeah, a lot was made of that. I think because it's partly because Joachim Andersen has great hair and he pings wonderful 40-yard passes.
Mate, his range of passing, I'll give him that. He's unbelievable.
He's incredible. Weirdly, when he was our defender, I think he was one of our best attacking players because he would just open up, play on so many occasions. He's so important, but he doesn't. I actually think that's been kind of overblown in media because for the allegedly the wages he was asking for the contract length he was asking for, and the fee we were getting for him, we brought in Lacroix, who's 4 years younger, 3 years younger maybe, and he's also rapid, so he suits our system more.
And a good TikTok dancer as well.
And a great TikTok dancer. We play with a really high line. And to have a player like Anderson, who is I genuinely think I'm faster than him, and I'm a gangly guy. He doesn't have the athleticism that suits Glasner's high line, and I think Glasner was probably secretly kind of pushing for that move, to be honest.
Yeah. Interesting.
So yeah.
Okay,
I would say someone that he's going to be that I used to have a good partnership with is Mark Gay. I wonder if we're going to be booing him quite a lot because obviously after all the LGBTQ plus stuff, but that might make him uncomfortable. Obviously, being in Brighton.
I mean, what can I say, mate? I don't know.
Well, but you probably don't want to talk about.
I mean, it's not. I don't want to talk about it. It's just an odd and
It's a bit of a minefield, isn't it?
It's a minefield. I'd say, to be honest, I'd be open to say it's quite disappointing from not only a great player but also a great club captain. Well, he seems like one, and seems like a really nice guy. So it's really disappointing. And I think he's got his own reasons, but like I don't know. I don't really stand by.
There's one funny moment out of the whole thing is when someone tweeted. Quote tweeted his dad because Mark Gay's dad came out and said something. The tweet that was the comment was like Mark Gay was literally about to get away with this, and then his dad's just thrown him under the bus and basically goes just backing that he's homophobic. He was like, no, he's homophobic, by the way.
He was so close. He was. Yeah, I don't know.
He was like that, and then he's about to be free, and then he was back in the Cubs.
By your own dad, got him.
Yeah.
If Brighton fans listening, because we will be a Brighton podcast, let's boo the shit out of that boy. Make him comfortable, and for obvious reasons, for good reasons as well.
Let's not incite violence, but
that's probably
no. We can, if you obviously, voice your opinion. That's more than welcome.
It's kind of an awkward one because I can't be like, don't boo him because now I sound homophobic.
We put you in a very difficult position here, Chris. Final thing then. Two final things. Just quickly, just because of that, what you talked about earlier has actually sort of piqued my interest a little bit. Just quickly, we're going to do something just quickly. I'm going to say a category, and you've got to tell me what's better, Palace or Brighton, okay?
All right, cool.
Okay, ready? Okay, so we've covered a few, but we'll start from the top. Right, playing squad. You've got to give an answer. Don't give me this whole, I don't watch Brighton.
Yeah, no, I guess squad, it would be you, because I don't think our squad is that good. There's not much depth to it.
Okay, manager?
Palace. Our manager's won the Europa League.
He's got a fair point.
No, he has. No, he's much more experienced. Yeah.
We will win the Europa League with Hurstler anyway next season.
All right, next one, stadium. And you've already
Palace.
answered it, but that's outrageous.
Can I say, actually, on that, I hate going to the Amex. I think, as an away fan, and as a Palace fan, it's a really bad experience. To the point where I went to the first 4 Palace Brighton away games, and then I just stopped going because you get kettled by the police. You have a really bad experience. It's not fun for away supporters. So my experience with that stadium is incredibly negative. It's a lovely stadium, but it's just
it's good for every other fan because every year we get voted like the best away day because the drinks they have drinks they have are usually local beers for whoever's coming down. If Forest there will be a local Forest beer. You have red colours in the away end as well for Forest, which we always find as fans mental. So like you should not accommodate the fans that well. We give them the whole end behind a goal. So it's basically like they're playing at home because obviously our stadium doesn't make too much noise anyway, which is why actually next season or the season after we're moving them. I think like west upper, potentially like southwest or something like that.
It's behind that goal as well. That's like
huge. You've had some pretty iconic moments there. Benteke's goal,
Zaha,
Zaha's So it's weird because you obviously are the only fans that probably hate coming to the.
Yeah, it's a bad experience for Palace fans, to be honest. Yeah.
Okay, and then final 2 categories: fans.
Palace.
We can agree on that.
Reluctantly, we'll give you that. And then final location, as in where you're situated. And if you dare say Palace.
South Croydon over Brighton.
Yeah.
I'll give Brighton. Brighton's by the sea. It's nice. I like the sea.
Croydon's a lovely place. Just to caveat. What a lovely.
And what do you, Chris, lastly? And what do you like calling the rivalry? Have you got a name for it? I like El Gatwico.
El Gatwico is good. I mean, I don't really call it anything other than Palace Brighton. I try to avoid that. Provided you're avoiding postcodes, you're good. Or avoiding motorways.
Yeah. The M23 derby.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, but then other than
it's a rivalry.
Yeah.
So it's a rivalry, not a derby. That's the key thing here. But listen, this has been a very cordial, very nice podcast. But hopefully we do batter you. That's all I'm going to say, Chris. And hopefully we make it a terrible day for you guys at the Amex. However, what's your prediction, Chris? What's your final prediction before we leave?
I'm going to be positive. I'm going to say 2-1 Palace.
Of course you are.
Based on I've just ignored everything I've said for the past 20 minutes. We're going to win. But 2-1 Palace, just because I'm an optimist at heart.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Ben?
I'm going to say it's going to be 1-1.
Ooh.
I think we'll be 1-0 up, trying to score loads. Yeah, just loads of chances. And then Mateta, in front of the away end, will probably score. Or Nketiah will probably get his first Premier League goal for Palace.
That
Actually,
is
Dr. Brighton will do that. And then,
that is exactly what will happen, actually.
Yeah.
That's spot on. Yeah.
9th minute, Nketiah, back post. Yeah, 1-0.
I'm also not overtly positive. However, I am going to go with a positive prediction. I'm going to go 3-1, but I don't believe it, to be honest with you. But I just want to go with 3-1.
What do you think?
What do I actually think?
What do you actually think? Yeah, you've got to say what you actually think.
No, but I actually think it'll be a draw. Which is not bad. It's not a terrible result by any stretch.
It is. We should beat him.
Yeah, but I don't know. I've got a very mixed feeling. I'm very in the middle somewhere. I just don't know where obviously, we should beat them in theory, on paper, by the letter of the form of this season. However, we're Brighton and we've been going through a bit of a sticky patch at the moment.
Also, what I would say is we're quite hard to beat. Like a lot of teams are drawing with us. We're not we're not pushovers.
What was it? 3 draws and a win in the last 4.
Yeah, it was. We beat 3 draws and a win, and then it was the last 7 or 8. We've had 2 league wins and mainly draws, 1 loss.
Yeah.
We draw a lot.
It's not going to be an easy day. But listen, Chris, thank you so much for joining us, mate. Really appreciate your time. Of course, as per usual, if you're listening, please give us a 5-star review on Apple or Spotify. And if you're watching on YouTube, please leave a like, comment and subscribe. It really does mean a lot to us. And we shall see you after the Palace game. Hopefully, we've won.
We'll be there, Maz.
We will be there.
Are you in the north?
No. I'm in West Lower.
I wonder why it was so expensive for your ticket.
Yeah, I know. Okay. Yeah. Fucking 60 quid. Absolute extortion, by the way. Chris, are you going in the away end?
No, I'm working, sadly.
Oh,
yeah.
Trooper.
That's working in sports. It's what life's like.
Yeah, it's what happens. Yeah, it's tough.
Don't do
isn't it?
Although I do hire him because he does need a job.
Please give me more work because it's looking bad.
Right, peace in a bit.
See you guys. Bye.